All right, we are live. So this is our part of our Learning Topcoder series. So 5 weeks to learn Topcoder. So today we're going to be talking with Abedavera and Fajar. If you guys want to say hey. So we have Abedavera and Fajar,
Yes,
which everyone knows as Avatar.
Where's
All
your
right.
face, Fajar? Come on.
No.
All right, so today's workshop is going to be all about a step-by-step guide to how to compete in a UI design challenge. So Abedavera is going to walk us through his process, kind of what he looks for in a challenge. So how does he read a spec, some key things to think about as you're looking at a challenge. And then also going through the process of registering for a challenge, how to submit to a challenge. Fajar will then get into how the feedback cycles work. So how do we share feedback from the client? How do you see that feedback? So kind of a quick overview of how to get started on a design challenge and how to be successful from a veteran like Abedavera. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So this is kind of a high level of the agenda for the workshop. So we'll kind of move through these throughout the course of the 1 hour live. So a little bit of just intro about Topcoder design. So this is geared towards new people that are maybe just trying Topcoder for the first time or just curious. So Topcoder design is a global community focused on solving real UX and UI problems. So we work, with top companies, top organizations to run design challenges to solve their problems. So the Topcoder design challenge is based on submitting your design solutions for critique and feedback by Topcoder customers. So everything is an opt-in model. So you can sign up, register for challenges that you're interested in competing, and then ultimately winning prizes, learning new skills, having the opportunity to learn new technologies. So there's really, kind of a wide range of, benefits and kind of outcomes and goals, for being a part of the Topcoder design community. So with that, the Topcoder design community is really broken down into kind of 3 sections. So we have information architecture, UI design, and front-end development. So information architecture is all about wireframes. So, more UX, more of kind of, outlining or, wireframing out how a website can, function. So what is the, how do the pages link together? What is kind of the main functionality of a site? UI design is, all about, UI, applying that high fidelity design, applying customers' branding and guidelines to create, great user experiences. And then front-end development is, all about UI prototypes. So building out, HTML, CSS, JavaScript based on UI design. So making everything work and clickable and kind of linked together. So the focus of today's workshop is all going to be about UI design. So kind of that middle section. So introduction to a design challenge. So this is what Abedavera will touch on in a little bit, but just kind of wanted to set a high level of what is important in a design challenge. So obviously it's extremely important to understand the problem. So what is the design problem we're actually trying to solve? So what are we trying to accomplish for our customer? What are their goals? and then what is the ultimate outcome. The second piece of that is following the requirements. So every challenge will have a series of requirements or specific things that we need to accomplish as a part of that challenge. So it's important to understand what those requirements are, but also follow them as you're designing. The second big piece is using the forums. So we'll show what this looks like a little bit later, but the forums, kind of serve as the main communication tool throughout a challenge. So the copilot, so someone like Fajar, will be monitoring those forums. They'll be able to ask or answer questions that you may have. They'll post updates about the challenge. So it really becomes kind of a great tool and piece of a great group to kind of explore and talk outside of the challenge. And then the last piece is what type of challenge is this? So not all challenges are kind of set up the same way. So we kind of have two main challenges that we tend to run at Topcoder. So those are more concept challenges or more production-oriented challenges. So concept challenges are all about new ideas. What's the next big UI experience? Our clients are looking for thinking outside the box, and they want to see something new. And then the other side of that is more of the production challenges. So the client knows exactly what they want. They have a really good branding guideline or a UI guideline, and they just want someone to execute on that vision. So it's much more of just kind of execute on what the client already has in mind. So they're not necessarily looking for a ton of new ideas. They just want a great user experience. All right, and then how to read a spec. So this is kind of the main, big piece of a design challenge. So the spec is basically outlining everything that you need to know about a design challenge. So, what is the problem statement? What am I designing for? So is it, desktop or mobile or responsive design that might need, desktop, tablet, and mobile? Are there branding requirements? So, specific, colors or fonts that the client requires. What are the specific screens I'm designing? So every design challenge will have a kind of a set requirements on the type of screen. So this could be, a home page or a dashboard or an about screen. So those will all be outlined in that challenge spec. And then lastly, what is the time frame of the challenge? So it's extremely important to make sure that you actually have the time to compete on the challenge. So making sure when the checkpoints are due, when are the finals due, and then judging, using that information to decide if you have the right amount of time to devote to that challenge. And so the challenges themselves are broken up into kind of multiple stages. And we'll touch on this again, but just kind of a high-level overview. So there's kind of four main stages of a design challenge. So the first is our registration phase. So this is where you're actually signing up for the challenge. So the process of signing up, is fairly easy. But what it does is it basically tells us that, yes, you are interested in competing in this challenge. If for some reason you are not planning to compete, we would ask you to unregister for that challenge. And this helps us kind of gauge, participation. It helps our clients, kind of gauge are designers interested in their problems. And then the second stage is our checkpoint phase. So this is kind of the in-progress point of the challenge. So this allows you to submit in-progress work. You can get feedback from, the copilot or, someone like myself or the client themselves to basically improve your designs. They'll tell you what's working or what's not. And then you can ultimately take that feedback and incorporate it into your designs for the final phase. So the final phase of the challenge is where you're submitting your completed, designs that are, fulfilling all of the requirements that are laid out in the spec. So this includes, all of the screens, making sure you have all of the breakpoints, so, desktop or mobile, as well as incorporating, all of the feedback from checkpoints. So it's really kind of your time to present, all of your finished work. And then the last phase is what we call final fixes. And this is more for the winners of the challenge. So there's kind of a final phase that allows the designer to kind of make some small tweaks and updates, based on the client's kind of final review. So this, could be just a color change or updating, an icon or something, small to kind of just bring it that much closer to the client's goal. So that's kind of a quick overview of, the design, the design track at Topcoder, the design community, and then how to read a challenge spec and a challenge itself. So with that, we're going to pass it over to Abedavera. So he's going to walk through kind of his thought process, how he approaches a UI design challenge, and what are the things that he starts to look for. So with that, Abedavera.
Yeah. Okay, it's my turn.
Perfect. You're ready. We're up. We see your screen.
Yes, okay. Fajar, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm still there. Just mute my microphone.
Look like. Oh, okay. So, welcome to our workshop today. We're going talking about actually, this is for basic and Topcoder beginner UI designer steps. So I have a presentation that I create before, so it will make you feel easy to enter Topcoder Studio. So let me start the presentation here. Okay. There's only 4 steps actually. The first thing is you have to understand, and the second is design, win, and lose. I will explain every step of this. The first thing you have to understand about the problems, the goals, and solutions. Challenge in studio, the clients have problems, and you have to understand about the problems, what their problem, and what their goals, and what your solutions. And it's in this, many people design with nice color, but UI is more dominating than designing about nice color. But you have to remember, beyond that, bigger than simple UI. It's a cool idea. And right now, the clients at Topcoder is looking for cool idea. The conclusion of my experience from 2007 and until today. The biggest one is cool idea, and the second one is simple UI, and the third one is nice color. But if you can combine these things, be a great designer in Topcoder. Second step is design. Design, there's 3 steps.
Hey,
Sketch.
Abedavera, I don't think your screen is updating. Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Can
you see?
Yeah, try hitting play again or present.
Okay. Can you see now?
No. Did it go to a different screen, maybe?
Right now?
Yeah, we can just see it. If you just go through the screens along the edge, I think that's fine. It's not presenting for some reason full screen.
Oh, okay. Now can you see that?
Yep, we can see that. So if you just run through the screens along the left, I think we should be good.
Okay, okay. Design step, the first step is what you have to sketch. Why it's important before you using your Photoshop or Sketch in Mac. It's kind of funny if you start competing, then you just jump into your Photoshop program, because you will get stuck and feel like no idea what do you want to. You have to sketch. You sketch from the first screen until the end. So in this step, you can dig more, because when you write in pencil, in paper, you can actually explore many things. Then you handle your mouse in your screen. That's why it's very important, very flexible, to start designing with Sketch. And digitalization it's common. It's a basic skills. Yeah, you can use your Photoshop or your Sketch application. And designing with simple prototyping, we have Marvel or InVision. It's very easy to use these tools. When you open it, I guarantee you can use it, because it's very simple. And then you have to understand and design process. It takes time. It takes time. So you have to maintain your time wisely. In this challenge in Topcoder, you have to do it by yourself, not a team. So you must be prepared. Must be prepared. Take for example, if a challenge deadlines in 3 days, so you make sure for easy thing, divide into 3 days. In day 1, the step is understanding, you can reading, looking for reference, and ask copilot if you find something that you don't understand. You start to sketch ideas, logic flow, and your possibility of your idea. That's all you can do in day 2. And the day 3, you start to digitalization, your coloring, efficiency, and simple prototyping. Digitalization, coloring, efficiency is a basic skills. So it's easy actually. The most important thing is in the day 1, you have to understand. The day 1, you have to reading more, looking for reference. If you feel lazy to read, when you're Googling, you feel lazy to read more articles, then you can find another way that more easy. You can watch YouTube and listening about their explanation about the challenge, or anything that contact with the challenge. And win, yes, it's win. The third step is win more prizes, folio, and of course trip to Topcoder. Last is lose. You have to quit. I mean, not the real quit. This quit is about you question why I am lose, why they don't pick my submission. Find many questions, and from that question you have to understand that you can understand oh, why I'm losing in this challenge. I know this is my weakness point and other things, and then you can improve from your weakness. You can improve in the next time. And the last step is try again. There's no, you have to try again. So that's a simple introduction for a beginner UI in Topcoder. My suggestion is for beginner, you have to focus one challenge. The first you register in that challenge, it means you have more time to explore, more time to to understand, more time to submit your submission, and you have more time to ask copilot in forum if you find something you don't understand. So that's a basic for UI designer in Topcoder. Okay, back to you, Trevor.
Awesome.
You want to?
Yeah, thank you. No, that was great. Yeah, so I think there's a ton of just really great tips from an experienced veteran UI designer within Topcoder. So thinking about just how to structure the way that you approach a design challenge. So things to think about. But I think the biggest thing was that last piece. So not getting frustrated about losing or not receiving a placement, but using it more as an education piece. So why did I lose, or why didn't my design favor as well as the others to the client. And those are all great questions that you can reach out to myself about, or to Fajar or the copilot on the challenge. So we can definitely help explain some things to maybe try for the next design challenge, or things to work on for the future. So that's why we're here. Like, we want everyone to succeed. We want everyone to be able to be successful in the challenges and within Topcoder in general. So we're definitely here to help. So don't feel like you need to completely figure it out on your own. We're definitely here to help you as well. We have some great additional resources within Topcoder, some great additional education pieces. So we can definitely help build that confidence, give you some things to think about, and hopefully be successful in the next challenge. So great walkthrough. So the next thing that we wanted to touch on was actually just walking through an actual real design challenge. So Abedavera is going to walk us through a previous design challenge that he actually won, but we kind of reset up the challenge. And so he's going to walk us through, what does the registration look like? What does the actual design, spec look like? So, again, what does that that actual challenge look like to you as the designer on the live site? What are some things to look for? Pointing out, key pieces of information that are specific to that challenge, but also applies, to every challenge. So, what types of programs can I use? Can I use, Photoshop or Sketch? Where can I find the deadlines or the timelines for the challenge? So he'll kind of walk you through what that process looks like. And then we'll kind of go through, in a brief way, kind of the entire process of a challenge. So, from registration to submitting a challenge, Fajar can kind of walk us through, what the feedback looks like, how's that posted, where do I find it as a designer? So that starts to get into that, the challenge forum that we touched on earlier. So we're going to kind of give you a brief, a high-level overview of a real design challenge and the process that goes into it. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Abedavera, and he can kind of walk you through what the design challenge looks like. So back to you.
It's back to me?
Yeah, we're back.
Fajar, you can explain about this challenge so I can jump into this challenge.
Yeah. So,
So
a little bit of background. So if you want to scroll up to the top, we can see your screen. So if you want to, yep. So with this challenge, so this was actually kind of an internal project, but it was for Watson chatbot. So kind of a cognitive AI chatbot. So this was a landing page for that. So in this specific challenge, we were looking for design concepts. So as you can see, design concepts is clearly called out in the title. So this is where we're looking for, new ideas, new ways to think about the problem. Branding is usually open in those cases. So it's all about exploration, new design ideas, and really kind of showing us, how you would approach the problem. What are your ideas? What do you think would be the best solution for the problem? So that's kind of, what this challenge is about. And so the kind of the top section, so the challenge summary, so this is kind of what sets up that challenge. So it's usually a brief, 1 to 2 sentence kind of explanation of the challenge. And then the rest of the spec, kind of outlines the rest of the requirements. So Abedavera, do you want to walk through kind of what you look for in a design challenge for the first time? So as you're seeing the challenge for the first time, you open it and see the spec. What are the things that you start to look for?
Okay, you're sharing my screen?
Yep, we see it.
Thing to do about this challenge is you have to register, of course. You have to register this challenge. Right. Okay. Now we have to read about the title. This is about a fast challenge, custom Watson chatbot design concept challenge. Okay, the price, we skip the price. We are offering 3 main price. Okay, important. Okay, design consideration. Yeah, this the you're entering the point. We will get deploy this landing page on Bluemix platform, and what should the priority UX based experience? Okay, information. Okay. The target device is 3 desktop, mobile, and tablet. For me, the easy one, you have to create the desktop view first. The desktop is more complex, and Then you have go to tablet, and the last one is mobile version, because it's a kind of bigger resolution, but I think it's no problem. The first thing I usually do is desktop, then go to tablet, and then go to the mobile. Okay. The branding guidelines, okay, they are. Please follow color scheme, okay. We're going look at what is this. Still loading. Yep. This is the current design. Looks like they want to change this. Okay. Update the customer marketing page for this. Okay, native page demo. Yeah, it's no, not this one. It's not like this. Create. Okay. Use the information. Yeah, use the information from that site as minimum content, and please suggest any additional content that should go up. Our current page have too much. Yes, there's too much scrolling. Too much scrolling. Okay, we want to take structure of marketing page to look like more like this side. We open it. Okay, just to make sure you fully know about the preference. Okay, smaller fonts, okay, and more efficient uses. The panels, okay, for the space, update the current, okay, for the image you can use photo, okay. This is the image that we can use. This is Topcoder even photo. I guess it's down here. That's why they provide this photos. Okay, important keep out. Okay, skip Marvel prototype. Okay, that's problem. Target audience. Okay, judging. Okay. Okay. For in my first challenge is about to redesign this page. Only one page, I guess. I think this is for beginner. This is the best practice for you can jump into this challenge. This is kind of quite easy, but the point is if you feel easy to create your solution, is that easy enough to win this challenge? So in this basic challenge, you can learn from simple thing. You in this Topcoder, every day, every week, challenge that came from a different background, different technology, and it's different if you work in a company for 3 or 5 years, and you can understand about your company, about their goals, about their product. But in Topcoder, yeah, you will find every challenge is a new company. You have to learn. And if you're not familiar with Watson chatbot, you can find in Google. A chatbot is a computer program that designed to simulate conversation with human users, especially over the internet. And the Watson, you can find Watson from their reference. Yeah, it's like a smart bot. So, like my tips before, if you feel lazy to read more about these sites, things, and you can jump into YouTube and learn more about chatbot. Yeah, this
Technology is connecting us in ways we couldn't imagine 10 years ago.
Okay, we'll skip that one. So, okay, I already create a video about this previous challenge, so we can quick demo.
Yeah, I think that would be good. So the video that Abedavera created. So this was a challenge that's already ran and has been completed. So he kind of documented his process during this challenge. So the video that he's going to play, kind of walks a little bit through the spec and the things that he just pointed out, but also what does he do after that? So looking at, how does he start to design, the research that he does, starting to, put together his thoughts on paper, before he even gets to the computer. So starting to think about things in a really quick and easy way, and then, all the way through design. So if you want to share that video, I think that'll be a great kind of setup.
Okay, it's back to me, back to my screen.
Yep, if you just want to share your screen and then play that video, that would be great. Yep, we see it.
Technology is connecting us in ways we couldn't imagine 10 years ago. Most of our relationships are digital, handled through messaging platforms, social media, mobile apps, and we're always available. With the shift from in-person interactions to mobile, we're managing our daily lives from
Okay, that's for a quick summary of the challenge.
No, that's great. So yeah, so as you can see in the video, so Abedavera, kind of went through the design challenge spec. It started to pull out, the key pieces of information. So similar to what he kind of walked through. So what are the inputs? What are the kind of example sites? So what am I actually, supposed to be designing? So in this case, it was redesigning an existing page, using inputs from, IBM Bluemix, using content from another page. So starting to bring all of those things together. So that's, what he started with. And then looking at, just some really quick, pen and paper sketches. So starting to get a lot of ideas out. So looking at, structure of the page, writing down, the key things to keep in mind, starting to explore, icons and how does information, kind of flow together, or how do I guide the user, through the content in maybe a better way. So starting to actually draw those things out, really quick, with the goal to just explore a lot of ideas, really fast, and to figure out, what ideas work the best. So, not wasting a lot of time in, Photoshop or Sketch, trying to figure that stuff out, but, really quickly just drawing it out on paper. So this was, a really fast challenge. This was only 3 days. So he was definitely, keeping that in mind, and using his time effectively. And so as you saw, and towards the middle part of the video, so starting to, sketch out the actual layout of the page. So what he's like starting to think about for, a kind of a 3-level, a 3-panel, page. What's kind of the rough content on that page? And then, taking that all the way through to, these are my paper sketches. How do I translate that into, Photoshop or Sketch, or, what are those high fidelity UI designs with, colors and buttons and images and, really nicely laid out text and icons. So I think that video, does a great job of kind of setting up the mindset of how do I approach a problem, but how do I also approach a problem for a challenge that's only 3 days long. So I think that does a really great job of, just setting the tone of, of things that you can start to apply to any design challenge, whether it's 3 days long or, 7 days long. Those are all great tips to take to any design challenge. So Abedavera, do you want to walk us through, I see you have your completed design up. Do you kind of just want to walk us through, the structure of the page itself, anything that might have changed from your kind of sketches to the final design. And then let's show how we actually, would submit that design to the challenge.
Okay. You got my screen?
Yep, we see it.
Actually, there's no much different from what I sketched before. And I keep, as you can see from the video about the main banner, I want to make the first user enter the website, they will see a bigger banner with 4 buttons that they can click. And actually, you can see on the right side that it's a preview of the chatbot, how they interact with the chatbot just with typing some short message. Yeah, I keep this at the top so they don't have to scroll at the bottom to see this feature. And at the middle section, they only see simple explanations that only have 3 steps: that your requirements, cognitive experts, and customized chatbot, and get started. You have to make your design as simple as possible, but in a good looking. And at the bottom, you can see it takes a lot of effort to slice every photos from the Topcoder Flickr site. I think, yeah, it's better. It's better if you give more extra. I think it's like more effort about this challenge. Even if it's just only 1 screen, but you have to push your idea to make it more dramatic. You can see a lot of pictures and almost no repetition about one picture. and you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, and the first.
Yeah. So I think the great thing about this solution is really that top panel. So, he designed the example in a way that the user can understand what a chatbot does in a really small, actual space in the design. So being able to kind of click through those, I can understand what a chatbot does. There's some, really great visuals and photos accompanying it. So, that kind of top section alone, kind of sold us on this design. So we can easily show a customer or a client, what this does, and they can immediately understand what a chatbot is, in just a couple of seconds. So, great job in just kind of like thinking through that user, thinking through what is important to them. So do you want to? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't have to, but don't forget about the main photos. It must in logic, they're like their activity on their screen, so it looks like more feel. It's like a real.
Yep. Exactly. Do you want to walk us through, quickly just how to submit to the design challenge? So jumping back into, the live challenge, what does that submission process look like?
Okay, back to this. You see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, after creating all the script for desktop, tablet, and mobile, then I go to submit my entries. So long. Okay, it's looked like got so long. I don't know.
Yeah, it's slowing down today.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be loading, but so basically, once you have your designs complete, you basically package those up. So you export out, all of the design files, zip, all of those up into a zip file. Yep. So this is looking at, all of your designs.
Press. So submission, and all your Photoshop file you can compress into zip files, and rename it as a source. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's see if our page is loaded.
Yep. Yes, it's
all
loaded.
Right.
Can you see that?
Yep, we see it.
Submission is all your image in zip file. Okay, you can choose. Remember, it's on the submission. Okay, uploading.
Yep. So that will upload. So you basically drag all of your submissions in there. This will upload to our system. So then it'll basically come in. So, someone like Fajar or myself, so we'll start to see all of these submissions come in. So we'll see, Abedavera's come in. We'll see, anyone else that registers and submits for the challenge. We'll start to see all of those submissions come in. We'll be able to review and see those. And then kind of what happens at that phase is we basically share those designs directly with the client. So, usually myself will be presenting your designs to the client. So they'll be able to see what you worked on. We'll be walking them through, you know, these are the features of the designs, or these are the concepts that the designer was exploring. And we'll ultimately be gathering their feedback. So, you know, what designs did they like? What are some things that, you know, they're thinking about? What are some of their ideas or feedback to make the designs better? And we basically capture all of that, and we present that back to you as feedback. So Fajar, do you want to walk us through kind of what that feedback cycle looks like? So, you know, how do you take the feedback? How do you post it? Where do you post it? And kind of just walk us through, you know, that process.
Okay. Okay. I already share my screen.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Thank you. So basically, after you find out the challenge that you want to explore, it will be open like this. At the first time, before you start anything, you need to register. Otherwise, you cannot see the challenge discussion link on the left, on the right side, below the deadline, and below the timeline. It will be like this. If you open the challenge page for the first time, then you need to register. Otherwise, the challenge discussion link will not open. The challenge discussion link is very important because this is the place where you will interact, where you will communicate with the client, where you will communicate with the copilot and the PM to understand about the requirements and also seeing their feedback to your design and overall challenge updates. So when you register first time, you will see something similar like this screen, the forum. You will see there is a welcome post by the copilot. You will see the people that you will connect to, that you will interact to. The copilot will help you, will help passing your question to client, and will help guide through and explain about your question to the client in their business way. And I'm the copilot will try to explain the answer, the client answer in the design way to you. So this is how it looks like, the welcome post. Just like ordinary post, just say hi to you to encourage you to submit and participate in this challenge. And then okay, you see there is a Topcoder have two kinds of challenge format. It's 1 round format and 2 round format. The type of challenge that we use in this fast custom Watson chatbot challenge is is 1 round format. So we will going to use rolling checkpoint, as you can see here, rolling checkpoint. This is an informal checkpoint round where if you're not submitting in checkpoint, in rolling checkpoint, then it's okay. You can continue and submit until the challenge deadline. In 2 round format, if you're not submitting in first round in checkpoint, you cannot continue in second round. So that's the basic difference about this kind of round. Usually in rolling checkpoint, you just need to submit your work in progress, the JPEG or the PNG. That's all. You don't need to submit the source because it will be too heavy. Because we just want to see how you working, how your work, how you translate our requirement. Are you did you can explain our requirement in your visualization, something like that. So this is what will be like this. So okay, there is one member here. Okay, he's not seeing this. This is for demo. You can ask anything here, again. I will answer this one actually. Just to explain that this challenge is just for a demo. Okay. Basically, in this forum, you can ask anything. What kind? There is no stupid question. You need to ask anything to get more material, more information from the client. Otherwise, you cannot. Your percentage to win the challenge will be small. I know that in the spec, the challenge spec, we already mentioned everything as good as we can, as detailed as we can. But sometimes you might have some question or doubts or anything related to the challenge that might be we miss. Yeah, and so this is the place that you need to interact. Just as anything. Other than asking question, you can also request a Marvel application project. This is tools that prototyping tools that Abedavera explained previously to help you visualization and make some interaction to your design, so client can understand more about your concept, about your design, and how it can be interact with their customer, their user later. So for Marvel application, usually we will invite you using our Marvel. So you don't need to create one. You just need to email us at the copilot email usually, or the PM email, or simply reply the thread, this post, ya kan? After that, you can. I will invite you. I will send an email to you using your email that you registered in the challenge, ya kan? And then you will see. Sorry, I'm mixing. You're locking Abedavera. So okay, okay, back again. Again, the Marvel application project prototype is to help you to explain your design concept more clearly by using their interaction. There is hotspot in the Marvel that you can use to explain your concept. By using that hotspot, the design can be moved, can be changed to another screen to explain your concept better. That is a good prototyping tool. Then it is a good enhancement. So one thing that I need to explain more about the forum is you will see that once you register the challenge, you will see this kind. You need to see this area. If this link say watch forum, that means that you're not getting notification if there is some updates. You need to click it and make sure the link change to wait a second. Stop watching forum. If the link has changed into stop watching forum, that means that every time I'm going to post anything to the copilot or PM or any other question from member, you will get notified in your email. Sometimes it's not working, sometimes it's working, so you need to pay attention to this. So it's not this link is to make sure that you get notification for all area of the forum. So if there is a thread that you don't want to follow, that you want to get notification about it, you just go to the thread and stop watching the thread. This is I don't know what this thread, because Marvel application project prototype is one-time request, so you don't need to know about the updates in this thread. You just asking and then leave it. I will process it, and you don't need the information of this. Sometimes this can be annoying, but you can simply unfollow this thread by doing the watch thread or something like that. Just clicking it, okay? And then we will go after you in this challenge. You will see that the rolling checkpoint will becomes on 12 p.m. That means it will be in 1 hour from now. So once you submit it before after the rolling checkpoint, after the rolling checkpoint meet the deadline, we will collect your submission and then presented them to the client. By presenting it, what we're going to present it usually is your Marvel. We're no sometimes it's more easier for the client to see the design in Marvel format, because they can going through and do some interactive interaction in there, and then they can put their feedback in the Marvel application directly, or send it the feedback to us. If they send the feedback to us, then I will going to post it. I will going to post it just as you can see right here. I already prepared the post checkpoint feedback. This feedback came from the client, general feedback. I will post it so you can see how it looks like in the forum. Okay, sorry, slow connection. Say you the rolling checkpoint round and the rolling checkpoint feedback has ended. So you need to know about that. You will able to see how we provide the feedback. The client that every designer that already submitted and all the designer that not submitted yet should be consider this feedback for their final design. Otherwise, you might be missing something and your submission cannot get selected as the winning design. So the process will be there will be iteration because I'm going to post another feedback from the client. In the original challenge, we got more than 10 design. Seeing it here, so you will see that its feedback has been posted like this for your detailed feedback. And you can find your submission number in online review, or when you submit it in the challenge detail page, you will see your submission ID. You will need to remember it because there will be a if we already meet the final deadline, there will be a screening process. Then material that you use, the checking whether you use you broke or violate the copyright rules. And then if you fail or success, there will be an email sent to your send to your inbox, and you will need to check about it. Once you know about your ID, you can find it if your submission, for example, is 241674, you will see the detailed feedback here. There will be what kind of aspect in your submission that clients like, what kind of improvement that client would like to see in your submission, and what kind of dislike or that they want to remove from your submission. So the process will be like this until the final until all the submission get feedback, and then you need to ask. So after the rolling checkpoint, after checkpoint feedback, you need to ask and start designing again. So sometimes when designer did not get a checkpoint price, they stop working and then quit. This is literally quit and don't want to continue the challenge again. It's not the quit that Abedavera mentioned earlier. It's different things. So this you need to just like Abedavera, the thing that you need to do is to make sure that you understand about what they want to see in the second round. You see how you interpret your submission in the first round. You compare the feedback that client give you to your original understanding and see where I'm getting this wrong. So then fix it. Then try to improve it based on the client feedback. So you need to understand that client have different tastes. So it's not your taste that need to be considered. It's their taste and their customer or user of the application or the website. Like you see here, you will need to see the target audience. It will be Topcoder customer or company and business around the world. So the people that will see your design will be people that maybe the CEO, maybe the manager, and business people. So you cannot create a fancy design or that not interesting for them. Okay. So basically after this, you will asking a lot of question. I will show you. This is the original forum. You will see there's many posts here that has been asked being asked by other designers about the apa. I will give you some announcement too about the remaining deadline, the remaining timeline, and then we will give you. And then once the final deadline is come, we will doing final selection and seeing which one from your design that will be selected as the winning design. So sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it takes fast. So we need to patient here until the winner announcement being made. In the challenge, just like we mentioned, the winner is Abedavera, and the second place is Yamtong, and the third place Almahi. From this, you can see that two of the winner is actually veteran. They are already win TCO few times. It's kind of boring to see their face actually.
Come on.
The third place is Almahi. Almahi is a newcomer from Medan, Indonesia. So I'm not sure if he joined the workshop from them, but his design is improved and it's very good. As you can see here, that the rolling checkpoint placement come from other people that actually they're not winning this design challenge. You can see Handy Putra, Project 9, Srikata, Active5, I Am Infinite, and Toxic Pixel. You did not see the winner here. That means that checkpoint is not the round that the final round is not the end of the challenge. You need to improve your design using the feedback, still feedback from the others, again, that you can see, and then make your own design and present it to the client. You will never know who's going to win the challenge because everyone have different understanding about feedback. So as you can see, the five rolling checkpoint placement is not the main winner of the challenge. There is no winner from the main rolling checkpoint. Okay, I think that is the way we proceed in design challenge. Is there anything that you want to add, Trevor?
No, I think that's great. So yeah, the design, the forums for the actual challenge, you know, as Fajar was explaining, are really kind of the main hub of the challenge. So, you know, myself, you know, the copilot, we're all monitoring that forum for questions, you know, for anything that's not clear about the spec. So, you know, really, you know, that is the place to go if there's any confusion or if something doesn't make sense, you know, please ask in the forum. So don't assume anything with the challenge. So it's best just to ask, you know, ask a question, clarify if you're thinking about something in the right way. So that's always the best option. So we'll respond back and answer your question, you know, in the forum. So definitely don't be afraid to ask questions. And then, you know, the forum really serves as, you know, our feedback mechanism, how we, you know, share feedback. You can ask questions about your feedback, you know, as well as, you know, I'm sharing the winning design. So it really becomes a great tool throughout the course of the entire challenge. So definitely, you know, take advantage of it. So yeah, so I think that, you know, that's kind of a pretty brief high-level overview of how a design challenge normally works. So, you know, registering for a challenge, kind of looking at the design spec, so pulling out what are the key pieces of information to keep in mind for the challenge itself. And then Abedavera, you know, kind of explained the thought process and kind of how he thinks about and approaches a design challenge. So, you know, working through, you know, what are the key things to keep in mind, starting to, you know, sketch out ideas and starting to, you know, wrap his head around what is the best design solution. And then taking those, you know, quick sketches and, you know, paper notes and starting to apply those into high fidelity UI designs. And then walking through what is that submission process. So, you know, exporting out all of your images as, you know, JPEGs or PNGs, and then uploading those into the system. And so once we receive those designs, we'll be presenting those to the client, gathering feedback, and then the copilot will be posting all of that feedback into the forum. So that's what Fajar was just explaining. So how does that feedback come in? You know, it's broken out by submission ID. It lists out, you know, all of your feedback in line in the forums, which gives you, you know, a great opportunity to ask questions, or if something doesn't make sense, you know, reaching out to the copilot or myself, and we'll make sure that things are clear. So you can take that feedback, you know, and ultimately improve your designs, you know, make a great final submission that we then present to the client, and then ultimately choose the winner. So again, so this is kind of just serving as a high level, you know, brief step-by-step guide to get you started on a Topcoder UI design challenge. So, we definitely kind of, ran through things a little bit quick. We kind of just touched on the main pieces, but definitely feel free, to register for a challenge, to, sign up and just try it out. We're always here to help. We're here to answer questions. Definitely, reach out. We have, a great Slack community that we can invite you to, which is, filled with, people like Abedavera and Fajar and myself. And it really becomes kind of an extension of the challenge forums, but just with Topcoder in general. So you can ask questions, you can get tips. So it's definitely a big community, that you can use, to your advantage to, not only be successful in Topcoder design challenges, but also just become a better designer, and that's what we're ultimately, here to do. So with that, we are going to, wrap this live workshop up. Look for additional, programs and blog posts, and additional, live workshops throughout our, 5 weeks to learn Topcoder. And we will catch you next time. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.